Imagine planning your future with someone you love, only to have it all unravel before your eyes. She quit her job to travel the world, and just 2 months into her adventure, she dropped a bombshell on her boyfriend. She's considering ending things. How do you cope when the person you thought you knew so well suddenly wants to walk away from everything you've built together? Let's talk to the man.
My 31M girlfriend, 26F of 6 years, recently quit her job to travel the world. After 2 months of traveling, she's considering ending things. I'm blindsided. What now? For reference, I will call myself M and her L. But for more info, we have had a truly wonderful relationship. We met 2 years before dating, and at the time I was dating someone else. L was one of my flatmates at uni. I'm in the UK, and we bonded very quickly. So we were friends for a while. My GF at the time broke up with me, and I had a brief fling with L, no sex, but kissing, etc. We were very close as friends, and this felt very natural. However, I moved out a week after and moved to the other side of the country. At the time, I was in a very bad place for a variety of reasons, and we slowed down talking as much. Then a year later, she randomly reached out again, and we started talking. And we just reconnected completely. I was just graduating uni, and she was just about to enter her final year after taking a gap year for work experience. She came to visit me at uni, and at this time I fully expected it was just a friendly visit, but it quickly became more. Soon after, she was back home, and we were chatting every day for literally up to like 12 hours on FaceTime. We did it so often. I fell completely in love with her, and soon after, we became official. We've lived together for the last 4 years, having moved in together about 6 months before COVID. We had an amazing time. We adored lockdown, so much time to just develop our relationship and love each other. We have had such a wonderful relationship, always able to communicate with each other about our feelings, understand each other, and always insist on not allowing ourselves to become too codependent. We lived our own separate lives, and we liked that. When together, in our flat, we lived in our own wonderful bubble full of in-jokes and words we ascribed our own meanings to. We always likened the strength of our relationship to the fact we were friends first. No jealousy ever, rarely ever arguments, and when there were arguments, we always managed to handle it well. We've talked extensively about our future. We've said we want to be married to each other. I have jokingly proposed to her dozens of times, always mortifying her, and have even picked out names for our future kids. We're not ready for any of that yet, as we are building our careers, but it always felt like this was it. So she's had a job for the past 4 years that she ended up hating. She quit earlier this year and has been saving up to go traveling. She did the Philippines and is now in Australia. She's been there for 2 months now. When she first went, I told her that she needs to fully embrace it and not to worry about me. The arrangement was simple, really. Our tenancy in our flat ended at the same time she planned to travel, so I've moved in with my friend, and she's away for 3 months. Our goal, which we discussed a lot, was that while she returns, she'd find a new job, we'd find a new place, and resume building our life together. Slowly, we started talking less and less, and whilst at first I was happy, there were little things that were ringing alarm bells. Such little things, but when you know someone so well, and when you know your relationship so well, these small things stand out. She'd not reply for days at a time, but still post on her IG story. She'd post things like feeding a wallaby, but not share that with me. I love animals, and she loves how childlike I get around them, and she always said she feels sad seeing animals without me because she can't see my reactions to them. But now she's not sharing them with me. I brought this up 1 month into her traveling, firstly framed in a "I miss you" kind of way, and it landed well, and she said she'd try to talk to me a bit more, but she just withdrew even more. I brought it up again 2 weeks later, this time with a bit more of a, "Maybe can we try to talk a bit more?" I also mentioned at this stage that I regret telling her before she traveled that I would be fine with not talking much, and that whilst I truly meant it at the time in action, it was hurting me more than I expected. She understood and promised we'd talk more. But we talked less. A few days ago I brought it up again, and this time it was different. Each time, she's always insisted that she is in a bubble, and that she needs to just focus 100% on traveling. I asked her if she could just give me 5 minutes every few days, so to say hello, but she said she wasn't sure she could even do that. This really upset me because we are 6 years in, and we have always had such a strong relationship that I was surprised at how unwilling she was. I said we needed to talk about this properly over the phone, and she suggested the following night. Her time in Oz would make it around 8 to 10 a.m. my time. I was ready at that time, but she postponed it an hour as she was going for a sunset walk and then going out for dinner with her traveling friends. Then, it was postponed further, but I could no longer make the call as I had a client meeting. I told her how upset I was that she prioritized a sunset walk over our relationship, and that she had already had 2 months of them, and that I was only asking for one evening so we could talk about the future of our relationship. She agreed we needed to talk about the future of our relationship, but said she couldn't do that until she returned home in 5 weeks. I said I couldn't wait that long and quickly called her. My client was late. Luckily.
It sounds incredibly tough, especially after 6 years of what seems like a strong relationship. Feeling neglected or disconnected when you're used to being so close can be incredibly disheartening. Now, as we dive deeper into the intricacies of this unfolding scenario, let's examine the challenges faced and the potential outcomes ahead. Continue.
Essentially, she said she's so confused right now because she's in a bubble of traveling, but she's just not sure if this is what she wants anymore. She floated the idea of wanting to move out to Australia. She clearly doesn't see me in her future anymore. I am just so blindsided, because we were so close and strong and happy before, and now she's traveled, it's just totally changed everything. I asked her if she still loves me, and she wasn't sure she could answer that. She was very much down the middle about everything, clearly confused about the situation, but not wanting to cause too much of an interference to her bubble right now. My impression was that she wanted to just ignore this happening until she came back. So where do I go now? I am so lost, so confused, so hurt. I want to be with her and spend my life with her, but she just might not want that now. TLDR, girlfriend of 6 years, is currently traveling and has decided she's not sure she wants to stay together. This is very blindsided and I'm confused AF.
Now that we've explored the story, I'm brimming with curiosity. Let's delve into the comments together and see the diverse perspectives and reactions from our community.
Prepare for the worst and let her do her own thing.
She's likely met someone. Breakups are hard, especially when she is gone and not interested in really addressing everything with you. It would be much more kind of her to just come out and say it directly rather than the ambiguity. Take care of yourself.
Whoa, reactions like this can definitely stir up a whirlwind of emotions. The thought of your partner potentially meeting someone else during a period of distance and disconnection can be incredibly distressing. It's true, the uncertainty and lack of direct communication only add to the pain. Taking care of yourself amidst this turbulence is crucial, prioritizing your own well-being and finding support wherever you can.
Insisting too much on wanting to remain in her bubble and ignoring her responsibility to our relationship. When it becomes a chore, it's time to end it and move on. How is she wanting to take full opportunities of experiencing her travels, insisting too much? I don't at all necessarily think she's met someone. Also, staying together through COVID lockdowns were extraordinary times. Without that, the relationship might not have even continued this long. Sorry, mate, but it's over. Don't be devastated and bitter that it's ending. Appreciate that you experienced happy times together, but now your paths are diverging. Don't sit around and mope, and don't keep a candle in the window for her waiting for her to come home. Best of luck, a new chapter in your life.
You're right. It's just a bitter pill to swallow, isn't it? The uprooting is so sudden, so it feels strange. When I said too much, I meant that she was unwilling to find any space at all to talk to me, insisting that it's because she wanted to preserve the bubble that she's in. I hope it doesn't come across too negatively. I of course do not hold this against her at all. It is a completely understandable feeling. I also fully anticipated many people would suggest she's cheating. I'm not dumb. I'd acknowledge and see it if it were happening. But I have no reason not to trust her when she tells me that this isn't the reason. Perhaps when we talk in person after she returns, she may reveal more. But until then, it is needless speculation that will do nothing but cause me anguish.
It's understandable that such assumptions might arise given the circumstances, but it's commendable how you're handling it with trust and grace. Your willingness to believe her words and await a face-to-face conversation demonstrates a deep level of respect and understanding in your relationship. Speculation can indeed fuel unnecessary anguish, especially when grounded in trust and honesty. With clarity and trust at the forefront of your approach, let's delve further into the complexities of navigating a relationship amidst distance and uncertainty.
Men look at her actions for the proof you need. Just move on.
It seems she is emotionally cheating. Maybe not with a person, but with her traveling. Her travel bubble means more to her than you do. Looks like it's time to grieve for the ending of your relationship and try to move on with your life.
She met someone and played both ways.
It sucks for you, man. It sounds like she's getting a lot of life experience and growing as a person. And unfortunately, when that happens, sometimes people make dramatic changes to their life. There's nothing you can do. If you want to have a chance at a continuing relationship, you need to be 100% supportive and give her space.
I mean, you guys managed to put a wonderful gloss on how great extended solo travel was going to be for both of you, but that I'm afraid was never realistic. If one person feels the need to disappear for a long period after 6 years, then the relationship just wasn't that strong in her mind. I couldn't imagine leaving my son behind. That she could make me think things weren't as rosy in her mind as they were in yours. High chance that she wanted some space from an intense relationship to think about if she was building the life she really wanted, and it seems like her answer is edging towards no. Unfortunately, it looks like heartbreak. Even if she comes back now, I am not sure that her behavior is consistent with just getting back to normal.
How TF are you blindsided? You thought your 26-year-old girlfriend was going to travel the world and then come back to you. I love Reddit.
Sorry, man. At this point it sounds like it's done. We all have relationship lines we need to draw in the sand. For me, it used to be at the beginning of dating, if I made 3 calls that went to voicemail with no response, it was pretty clear I was not interested and moved on. That was 25 years ago. Now, if I'm ever looking again, I do one and call it a day. This clearly sounds like she's done. If I were you, I'd tell her, please don't interrupt me. I loved you. I wish you the best. I'm clearly a hindrance to you. Continuing this farce is hurting me. Good luck, but I am done. Bye. And then cut contact. Be single a while, heal, move on. Yeah, the end of relationships hurt. Even when ending it is the right thing to do. When I broke up with my ex-fiancée, gosh, 26 plus years ago, after struggling with trying to stay in the relationship after finding her cheating, it still hurt. 4 months. I mourned the death of the relationship. I hurt because I had hurt her in ending the relationship. Yeah, I know, she cheated, blah blah blah. It gets better over time, but you have to end it, let yourself mourn it a bit and then move on.
She's met someone else. Sorry, mate.
Girlfriend of 6 years is currently traveling. This is pretty common whenever someone goes traveling alone to discover themselves. It usually ends up with cheating or a breakup.
You never took out any of the women travelers that stop in your city to show them the town. After 2 months, she's considering the offers. When people travel, it's also the people they are sampling.
She couldn't even get herself to say she still loves OP. It's probably beyond just considering offers and sampling. She met someone and it's so serious that she's ready to uproot her life and settle in another country for him, LOL.
The girlfriend is getting pumped down under. Sorry mate, it's over.
100% she met someone else. Don't be naive.
I didn't read past the title. She decided to expand her horizons and found out that you are not the only man interested in her. You take the loss and move on. Stop being confused. It is literally no more complicated than that.
She decided to go solo traveling the world. The relationship was over when that happened. She should have broken up with you then, and I'm sorry she didn't. The best thing for you to do is let her go, and if it were meant to be, she will come back around. Anything more than that, and you would be forcing it, and that's not true love. It sucks, but you're just gonna have to let her see this through. All the best.
Could her decision to embark on solo travel truly signify the end of our relationship? Is it possible that letting her go is the best course of action, trusting that if our love is meant to endure, she'll find her way back to me? Is there a fine line between holding on and letting go? And how do I navigate it without compromising the authenticity of our love?
So she was only 20 when she hooked up with you. She wants to see what else is out there. You are at 2 different places in life.
She's gone, mate. But at least you had 6 years together, so that's not a bad run. From your words, you sound like you know what you want for your future, so don't wait for someone that is indecisive, so start prepping your next steps now. You have 5 weeks to prepare yourself and do it solely for yourself.
She met someone, bro, sorry. You were the safe pick until she found someone she actually clicked with, and she did. Once again, sorry OP. Women like to have the safe pick or a fallback a boyfriend. There are a majority of women on Reddit who will also agree with this, until they find someone, and unfortunately you got the short end of the stick.
The girl you loved is no longer there. Someone else with her semblance now. Don't spend too much time on a lost cause. Just go and see. Move on and find happiness somewhere else.
I'd suggest that she has met someone else. The bubble of travel with limerence is powerful. Honestly, she may or may not have been unfaithful, but either way she is erasing you from what she wants in the future. Currently, it sounds like she is running away, and only she knows from what. The sad part is it will come crashing down when she realizes that travel and transience gets old and is financially unsustainable. From your point of view, you can't do anything. Leave her alone. Focus on yourself. Tell her if she sleeps with anyone else or starts a travel relationship, it's over, and to let you know once she sorts her head out. If suggest preparing for a breakup, and if she comes back and wants to be together, being in a really good place yourself as a starting point. It's easy to get carried away to feel free when there are no responsibilities, but that's not life and reality.
Let her initiate contact from now on. She might start missing you. If she never contacts you until she's back, then you also have your answer. But also ask yourself the question, do you really want to continue with someone who treated you like this? Maybe you deserve better, man. Don't put her on a pedestal just because of the past. She changed up rather quickly.
Jesus Christ, this doesn't sound like a girlfriend. Sounds like friends with benefits. Just end it and don't date someone who wants to go discover themselves.
Support her breakup. She needs her own time, her own space to find herself. Come back to it when she comes back.
Before delving into the statement, it's important to consider a similar experience shared from the perspective of needing space in a relationship. Let's explore how expectations and actions can sometimes diverge, leading to a breakdown in communication and ultimately the unraveling of a partnership.
A lifetime ago, I needed some space from everything. My long-term partner and I discussed how communication might be slow. He was completely on board. As soon as that became a reality, he became clingier and clingier, asking for just this or just that. Tracking my online activities, comparing them to direct communications with him. It felt so stifling and like he didn't understand at all what I needed, even though he seemed to understand clearly before I left. I honestly can't say if I would have broken up with him if he kept to our agreement, but the fact it seemed like he didn't even try certainly sped up the separation. There was no one else until later, until I knew I wasn't going back home.
Before wrapping up this video, I want to leave you with a powerful comment that resonated deeply. It highlights the importance of understanding and acceptance in relationships, even amidst uncertainty and distance.
I have personally never met a happy couple that has traveled alone or would like extended time away from their person. If she is confused and unsure about you, then you know that she isn't sure about you in the relationship, so consider it over. Let him be and figure things out on her own while you focus on yourself.
Remember, relationships are complex and sometimes fraught with challenges, but it's how we navigate them that truly defines their worth. How do you navigate the delicate balance between holding on and letting go in a relationship? Until next time, take care and keep the faith in love.